So I think I'm gonna call this my inner thoughts. I kind of like how that sounds because then I'm not really tied down to any specific topic. I also had to do a blog post or a blog website for a project in one of my classes last semester, and I ended up having to use that as my name because I couldn't really pick whether I wanted to talk about lifestyle stuff, sports, or just who knows, who cares. I'm also outside right now, and there's a little fountain, so it's cute. There also might be a plane or a helicopter. So yeah, ambient noise, we love it. My name's Amanda. I'm 19 years old. I'm born and raised in Texas. And I guess for my first podcast video, whatever this ends up becoming, I'm just gonna kind of talk about myself and let you guys get to know me because, yeah, I think that's the simplest thing to do. Least amount of thought and production put into it, therefore it's the most raw version of myself, if that makes sense. Like I said, I'm Amanda. I'm 19 years old. I turned 20 in November, which is really weird to say out loud because I distinctly remember in high school, my junior year of high school, I used to film my soccer team, or the men's soccer team, because the coach was my favorite person to talk to. He was the funniest guy on the planet. I would make fun of him for almost being 40, and he was 32 or 33 at the time, and I was 16 maybe, and he said something about, oh, Amanda, you're gonna be 20 before I turn 40, and I was like, oh my god, I hate that. And now I'm 19, and I really am almost 20, and he's still not 40, because that's how numbers work, so that sucks. I was born in Plano, Texas. For those of you that don't know where Plano is, it's a little bit north of Dallas. To be completely honest, I don't really remember where Plano is. I just know it when I get there because it's hey, this is home. Moved from Plano when I was really little. I was not really little. I mean, I was little, but not I remember it. I'll put it that way. I was probably 3 or 4 when we moved here. Living in Houston now. Grew up in Houston. Went to school in Houston. I like Houston. It's great. I still think Dallas is better, but Dallas can be overhyped sometimes, so be wary of who you listen to when they talk about Dallas. I go to the University of North Texas. I just finished my first full year there, so I'm technically a sophomore, but I think I have a few extra credits here and there, so I'm just kind of, a student at the University of North Texas. Supposed to graduate 2023, trying to push that one back a little bit because money money is not growing on trees, so that's how that goes. I really like it at the University of North Texas. It's a really nice campus. It's not super big to where you feel like you're the smallest speck. There is a lot of people there though. But they do a really good job of kind of keeping you with your people. So I'm a converged broadcast media major. I spend a lot of time around media arts kids and other broadcast students that go into what I want to, or want to go into what I want to do. And we all kind of get along. We're all really good friends for the most part. Obviously there is the occasional super competitive, superiority complex kind of guy. And so that's always, there, but you get those with everything. That's not specifically it's not my major specific. Obviously every other major has that. Also my mom opened a window and waved, so that kind of threw me off a little bit. I want to go into broadcast for sports. Obviously I really enjoy sports of all kinds except football. I'm not really a football fan, but my dream job would be doing color commentary for the Astros or the Blue Jays, either one. I'm not picky. Pretty much everybody except for whoever Mike Fiers is playing. There's another guy I really don't like in baseball, and now I'm blanking on his name, but I used to make fun of him all the time. It's not Mookie Betts. I used to really hate Mookie Betts, but that was just because he was like a great human being, and it's the same way with Mike Trout. I really don't like these guys that are like super super fantastic people, because it's like I feel like there should be something wrong, but there's not. Yeah, I don't know. All of a sudden, but I really want to do color commentary, or I want to be on MLB Network and do stuff like Harold Reynolds. Harold Reynolds. Harold Reynolds. That doesn't sound right, but I don't know. But yeah, no, I really like what they do. I really like what Hazel May does with the Blue Jays. Julia Morales for the Astros. I really, really want to do take their jobs. But once when I was a little bit younger, I got to meet Jeff Blum, and the first thing I said to him was I looked right at him and I said, "I'm coming for your job one day." And I might have been 15. I really don't know what was going through my head. I was very bold, and I was very proud of the moment, and to this day, I have not forgotten about it. My favorite teams, obviously, I'm a big sports fan, and my favorite teams are the Houston Astros and the Toronto Blue Jays for baseball, for sure. But I do like various players throughout the league. I like Joe Musgrove, who plays for the Pirates right now. Ken Giles and Chris Davinsky are obviously my top two. Well, I say obviously, like, you guys know me, but I don't know who knows me. So Ken Giles and Chris Davinsky are my favorite players in the big leagues right now. Kyle Tucker is a close number 3. They're just really, really cool guys. They are the biggest reasons of why I got into baseball in the first place. The Red Sox bullpen coach, I think is his title, Craig Bjornson. He used to be with the Astros as well, and between him, Giles, Davinsky, and Musgrove, they all really, really got me into baseball because they would make fun of me. I used to have a Blue Jays jersey with Kevin Pillar's number on the back of it because I had fallen in love with Kevin Pillar for some reason, and so they made fun of me for jerseys and stuff, and so they really kind of like brought baseball as like the forefront and like kind of pushed me towards that as like wanting to pursue that as a career and like go into broadcasting and stuff, because as long as I get to be around the sport, then that pretty much makes me happy. And obviously I can't play, so that's that. I know the Astros cheated, so I can't like try to dispute that one, but I do love them nonetheless. I obviously do not support cheating in any capacity, but they are some of the coolest personalities to be around and to like have the pleasure of knowing. Giles with the Blue Jays now, when he came to Houston last summer, he was the nicest guy. Got to take a picture with him, and you know, he got a lot of crap for like what he did in Houston, and he didn't really like it in Houston. I like read articles about how he had talked about like not really liking how the clubhouse treated him, and not necessarily the clubhouse, but the like the dynamic. He didn't really get along with the dynamic, didn't vibe with his team, which is obviously really important when you're playing for, you know, a world champion team or a like title contending team in the first place. So he got traded to the Blue Jays, and seems like he really likes it up there. The Blue Jays fans love him. I still think he's the coolest, regardless of where he plays. So yeah, that's why I like the Blue Jays and I like the Astros. It's a really conflicting statement, especially because I've liked the Blue Jays, I think, a little bit longer than I've liked the Astros, but no one really knows where the Blue Jays thing started. So, haha, fun times. My basketball team is the Mavericks, just because I just recently started watching basketball, and Luka Doncic is really easy to follow. He is a fantastic player. I've been to a Rockets game before, but only once, so I don't really like know a whole bunch about the Rockets or who plays for the Rockets, other than, you know, James Harden and the guys that like Clint Capella, I think, used to be here. He was our center for a while, and then got traded because the Rockets wanted to pursue the small ball. Don't know why. And to be completely honest, maybe it'll work, but I just don't know basketball well enough to like fully comment on it. And there's a plane. I don't have a football team just because being like raised in Houston, you're told to like the Texans, but because I'm originally from the DFW area and my dad is originally from, well, my dad spent a lot of his adult life in the DFW area. I don't really want to say I'm a Cowboys fan either, but I also barely know football. My friend Will just spent like a whole half of a semester trying to explain football to me, and we're getting there. We're getting there slowly but surely, but it's okay. And last but not least is hockey. I love the Dallas Stars. They are a fantastic team, severely underrated, I think, solely on the fact that Texas does not play hockey. But I think Tyler Sagan is the most attractive human being. I called Ben Bishop a piece of Swiss cheese on a show I was on at the beginning of my college career, and yeah, I think they're great. I think they could be cup contenders here in the near-ish future, if not in the next 2 or 3 years. So that's it for professional sports. I don't really I'm really just a big baseball person, and then my secondary sport is hockey, and then basketball, and then football, but I don't really watch a lot of basketball or football. But that's that. Fun facts about me, just to kind of see the kind of person that I am outside of just all sports. I speak 3 languages. Nomor satu adalah bahasa Indonesia. The second is English. Et le numéro 3 est français. But I don't really speak any of them super well. Obviously, my English is the best of all of them because it's the one that I use the most. I am half Indonesian. My mom is Indonesian, like, fully, and was raised in Indonesia, born and raised in Indonesia. She is culturally Indonesian, but Indian by descent. So technically, I can't say I'm Indonesian. I just know the language because I gotta communicate with my family. And then French I took in high school, and then that just kind of became a passion project for me. So that's all of those. Should have taken Spanish because, that's a little bit more helpful being in Texas, but I liked Canada so much. Or I guess I really liked Canada when I went the first time, and then when I went to Toronto and we went to Quebec, I got to use it a little bit over the summer there, which was a lot of fun. I've played just about every sport on the planet that, like, a girl can play. I played volleyball for about 3 years, basketball for 2 years. I've played softball since I was 7. I originally was going to go to the University of Evansville to pursue a softball career, like, collegiate level. Decided not to do that because Evansville is cold, and living in Texas my whole life, I don't really know what cold is. Thought about maybe playing for the University of North Texas. That ended up not being a route I wanted to pursue. And then just kind of went there for, obviously the academic reasoning and not for softball at all. But they have a really, good team. I think that team is going to do amazing things here in the future. Anywho, was going to go to the University of Evansville for softball. Ended up not doing that. Ended up not playing softball at all. Thought about some D2 schools, and then just kind of, because I didn't have an offer from North Texas, so I was just like, yeah, okay, that's cool. We're just going to go and, enjoy our college life. I don't need to bust my butt to play ball anymore. So played softball for most of my life, played hockey for 4 years, wrestled for a year and a half. What else? Played soccer for 6 years, but everyone plays soccer when they're little. I did cheerleading, competitive cheerleading for 3 years, and hated it entirely because I'm not that kind of person. Yeah. I'm mostly friends with guys, which means absolutely nothing, but guys are easy to talk to in the general, in the grand scheme of sports and stuff, and I really enjoy, for whatever reason, being made fun of by guys because it doesn't, hurt nearly as much as when it's done by a girl, because it's just, it hits different. And I don't know. I was scrolling through pictures on my phone the other day and came across, so obviously I still love softball. That is like my number one favorite thing to do, is to go like take BP or just go scrimmage with a bunch of friends. Obviously not now because quarantine and coronavirus, but that's one of the, like, my favorite things to go do. I needed new bat tape one day, and my bat was black and red, and I decided I wanted red bat tape instead of black bat tape, and accidentally bought Nats bat tape. And if you don't keep up with baseball at all, it's important to note that the Nats beat the Astros in the World Series this year. So being an Astros fan and accidentally purchasing Nats tape, you understand how good that goes. And when I got it, it was right about the time that the Astros were starting to get a lot of backlash for the cheating scandal. And so I told my friend I accidentally bought Nat's bat tape, and he said it was fate. And I was like, excuse yourself. I wanted red. This is not fate. He said, fate, I tell you, fate. All for the aesthetic. It's a great color. Red, a basic red. It's an extra pretty red. And then I realized where this is going. Or I thought I realized where this was going. Apparently I was wrong. Right, because it's the red of the legal World Series champions. And he said, I wasn't going to go there, but yes. So I appreciate it. They're a little bit better because they don't attack the super like painful parts of my heart. So when I get accused of things and made fun of for things, it's like, this is true to an extent, but also I understand that, like, I don't want to hurt you. So it's great. It's a good time. I was doing color commentary for the University of North Texas softball team and was really excited for the season, and then got cut short because of the coronavirus, which, that sucks, but it's how it goes. And we found out that I have a basic fear of cameras, right? And I'm scared of being wrong, and I'm scared of, like, being made fun of, I guess, which, that's like a very basic fear, but I really don't like being wrong. I really don't like being made fun of, and so I get really nervous for judgment. And as a result of that, because I want to go into broadcast and I want to go into TV and radio and stuff like that, I really want to be good at what I do. I also don't think that I ever have to start at ground one or stage one. I always think that I'm as good as all of my other friends that have been doing this for years and years and years. So I'm coming in with no background in this at all. And I'm so scared to talk to, like, anything because I feel like I'm talking really loud, or I feel like I'm talking to myself. And so I'm just, like, terrified of the whole situation. But this is why this exists. That way I can get over that basic fear of humiliation and judgment and stuff. So this is just me kind of rambling about, everything right now. So that's my first basic fear. It's kind of like stage fright, but not really stage fright, because I can be on the stage where I know no one's recording me, and I'll be absolutely fine. Apparently the fear is of, like, I guess I have a fear of being recorded, which is weird. And then my second fear, which is, like, a little bit deeper and a little more, like, this is deep. And a lot of people are like, it doesn't need to be that deep. But, like, it is that deep. I am horrifyingly afraid of being loved, I think, is the way that I would put it. I am afraid of being rejected. And okay, so let me rephrase this. And I don't think I need to rephrase it, but let me preface this with, I have a boyfriend. He's a great man. He is evidently my favorite person on the planet. And he's really sweet, and I've known him for, like, close to 5 years now. We met at an Astros game, which is, like, the most typical thing that would happen to me. And he lives across town, and he's great. And he is very patient and very understanding that I am very reluctant to show my feelings. And so I apparently seem to get mad at him because he loves me. So I guess it's not a fear of being loved. I think it's just a fear of being rejected once I do put forth the love, because I ask him all the time, like, do you like me? Do you like me? Do you like me? And he's like, there was one time recently that I had asked him that, and he was like, let me think about that. Yes. And I was like, if I wasn't so scared that someone was gonna leave me, I'd be fine. But it's whatever. So that's that. I really like him. He's great. He... Oh, I feel like such a jerk. He is the nicest person I have ever met, and I'm such a jerk in comparison, and he really does put a lot of effort into making sure I'm happy and making sure I know that he likes me and everything, and it's great. But I'm horrified of the fact that, like, one day I'm gonna say that, like, maybe I do really like him, or maybe I love him, or whatever, and he's gonna be like, oh, just kidding, I'm gonna dip now. So, yeah, that's cool. Those are two basic fears. I don't know why I felt like, I guess because that's, like, if you know what scares me, then that's, like, probably the most judgmental thing you can say, other than, like, oh my god, you're a fan of the Astros. But I think I can handle that now. So yeah, that's pretty much this whole thing. Yeah. This wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. I really want my friend Garrett to be on here, so I kind of have somebody to bounce, like, conversation off of. That way I'm not just talking to a microphone. But yeah, I hope this came out good, and that I'll do it again sometime.